because we don't need to know why, but we cannot live other people's lives. We can be inspired or triggered by other people's, not triggered, triggered probably not the right word, but sparked. Ideas can be sparked by others, but we cannot live other people's lives. We cannot gain our own paths, like direction, from other people's direction. You can only be inspired and motivated and use that as a catalyst for your own life. But you have to find your own path. And I'm gonna make this entire video on creativity and how I keep my creativity alive, because I know there's periods of momentum and there's periods of flow state. And if you watch my content, you know I talk about flow state a lot and how beneficial it is for your personal growth and, let's say, your business growth. If you have a business, anything that you're kind of pursuing in your life, goals that you have, any kind of growth ideals that you have going on in your life, inspiration, creativity, flow state, and being in just a state of energy, being in motion. This is a state that's going to be propelling you forward. So it's easy to get stuck and it's easy to lose motivation and kind of like lose the plot, lose the goal. So this is going to be my formula to reverse that and just kind of jump out of that stagnation and how to get energy in motion. Okay. So copying others, one thing I want to mention is copying others will only lead to temporary energy or temporary fulfillment, and then it'll eventually lead to burnout. So taking inspiration from others is very different. And let's say you watch a movie or you go to a bookstore, you guys know I talk about I have a very growing growth mindset where I can find inspiration or I can learn a lesson from anything. So if I watch a movie, I will learn a lesson and I will find some type of inspiration through that. I can go to the store and maybe I don't find anything to buy from that store, but I'll still find some type of inspiration or some type of lesson or some type of growth that I'll find from that store, or talking to someone, or an experience, or maybe some person that was in my life for a small bit of time and now they're gone. And if you view every experience as either a lesson or a win, then there's no losing in life. There's never any losing. Sometimes it may feel like losing, but a lot of the times, you know this in your own life, there's a lot of periods where you feel like there's a lot of loss, or you had a lot of setbacks, you had a lot of failures, and then in a few years you realize how much of a growth experience that was for you and how much of a blessing that was. And it's very hard to see in the moment, but that hindsight is so important, so you can really take value and you can take inspiration from these moments of depth, these moments of stillness, these moments of setback, or these moments of like, it sometimes may feel isolating. So it's moments of isolation, even when you get sick. It's your body finally being like, you need to take a break from what you're doing and you need to just rest. It's like your body is forcing you to rest. It's a forced rest. And I know all the times I was sick with the flu or whatever I had, I felt in my heart that my body needed this. And I needed this period of being away from school, being away from work, and not having a pressure on me that I have to be productive, quote unquote. So everything happens in my view, in my mindset. Everything happens for a reason, and all the experiences we go through happen for a reason. Um, how long this rest can be, it depends on the person. So some people can be in a period of rest for a short period of time. It could be like a few hours where you feel very, very depressed and you feel like you need to just be secluded and you need to just be kind of like resetting, maybe journaling, or you just need to go for a walk and you just need to get out of the house, get away. Maybe some people need like just a few months off from work where they need to reset and just rediscover like what their purpose is, what their goals should be, like who even are they. It really takes these big setbacks to even rediscover who you are. Sometimes you have a huge change in your life, and that's when you finally discover who you are. Because before, you had so many other things, external people, events, situations, identities that you were attributed to, either work or relationships, that gave you your sense of who you are. So now, when those are stripped from you and you're just by yourself, now you get to discover, who are you? Who really are you? What do you really like to do? What do you really want out of life? and I've talked about this, journaling about the prompt. What do I want out of life? What do I want? What is life? What would be a fulfilling life to me? What does living a fulfilling life look like to me? So, really diving deep into that journaling prompt and discovering for yourself, what do you want out of life? Okay, that's one way that you can kind of reset when you go into these low states or these setbacks, these quote unquote setbacks. But every every kind of like, every very, very low eventually leads to a very high high. And not in like a way where it's in a negative way, but like in a way where it's the break what is it called? Breakdown. Every breakdown leads to a breakthrough. Or every breakdown is actually the breakthrough. Usually you have those biggest moments, those biggest learning lessons because of the breakdowns, because of those setbacks. So that's one thing to kind of take the pressure off of you if you feel like you're feeling like in a low moment, you're feeling like you're having a setback, you're feeling like you're just like off course. And this is maybe some type of relief that no, this is the exact moment that you need. This is the exact moment that this is happening for you, for your growth. It's not happening to you, it's happening for you. Okay, so these are a few things that I like to do if I feel stuck, if I feel stagnant, if I feel like my energy is just not up, or I feel like I'm just in a rut. This is what I do, this is my formula, and these are a few things that I do to keep creativity alive. Okay, so especially as someone that creates content and helps my clients and creates online resources for you guys, coaching programs, video ideas, I need to have good creative ideas, and I want to give you guys the best content. So, a few things that I do to just keep creativity live is, okay, one of them is creating food at home, creating like whatever I feel like I want to have. Like if I have a craving for, let's say, sushi, I will make that sushi at home. I will figure it out, somehow make my own version of it, and I'll put a twist to it. I won't just follow a recipe. I'm not the type of person that follows recipes to a T. I definitely eyeball things, and I definitely like to put my own twist on things because there is no rules to cooking in life, and we can make everything whatever we want it to be. So this is one way to spark creativity in your life, is getting inspired by something, a recipe that you see or a craving that you have, and making it yourself. Okay, so whether that be baking, whether that be cooking an actual meal, maybe you're cooking for your family or your friends or your partner, just making things from scratch because you're utilizing your own self, your own body, your own hands, your own mind. You're thinking, oh, if I don't like walnuts, maybe I can use this instead. Or if I don't like this, I can maybe use this instead. Or if I don't have this sauce, maybe I can make my own sauce, like in the blender. So you're just utilizing your brain. You're just getting your brain moving. Okay. So it's not because you want to write a recipe book. It's not because of that. Everything I tell you guys, like I say, if you help yourself in one area, it's gonna domino effect into other areas. So this may seem like, okay, she's just talking about cooking, but trust me, this really works. We're just getting the creativity going because you're getting your mind going. You're getting your mind thinking like, what can I do? What like creative aspects can I add to this? Okay, so not just following a recipe to the T, but making your own, putting your own twist on it. That's one of the things that I love to do. And also, like, I can make my own decor in my house. Like, if I have a jar or a candle jar and I'm finished whatever was in that jar, I can just repurpose it and use it for something else. Like, I just turned a candle jar into where I store my pens in my on my desk. So it just makes me feel creative. It makes me feel attached, not attached, but it makes me feel like that object has a little bit more value to me. It has like it's like, oh yeah, I put my effort into that. Like I remember I took away the wax, like I had to scrub it all down and clean it out. You feel like it's more personable. Okay. So it's another way, another small ideas that you guys can incorporate. And then another thing that we need to kind of be a little bit open minded to this, and hopefully you guys understand it, it's watching more feminine flow content. Okay. So feminine content versus masculine content does not mean a man talking or a woman talking. Feminine content is like vlogs or people showcasing things in their life, traveling, things that they're doing, or their own, like, it could be like let's say it's like what they're like let's say my sleep routine. That's more of a feminine flow content, but there's still masculine aspects to that. The masculine aspects is the structure. So me saying like I do this. And the feminine flow is like me showing you pictures of the lamp that I have, or the mat that I use that I put my feet up, or the acupressure mat, the tea that I'm having. It's like feminine flow where you feel just like this flow of energy, and you're kind of, you can draw inspiration from that rather than just getting like lists or reading nonfiction books where they're just telling you what to do. It's very structured, it's very masculine, and there's not flow of energy in there. Okay. So just making sure you have a balance of those types of information that you're intaking, whether this is what you're reading or what you're watching, you have a balance between the masculine and the feminine of what you're consuming. So even if you're like, let's say you're a big reader, make sure if you're reading a masculine type book, masculine energy book, where it's like, when I say masculine energy, it's not about masculinity, okay? It's masculine structured where it's like the yang, okay? The yang, it's very like telling you what it is. Like it's just telling you do this, 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 this. It's like steps, structure, okay? Then you want to balance it out with some type of feminine information that you're intaking. So you're having periods where you're intaking information from a feminine flow of energy. So whether it be like a fiction book, like let's say you like fantasy, then reading a fantasy novel, or you're just reading a storybook, or just something where you have to interpret and you're getting the message to maybe storytelling. Okay, this is the feminine way of flow and energy, and this is the feminine way of absorbing and intaking information. Usually, it's a lot more productive than actually reading something with a masculine structure, because we know from studies that the brain actually intakes information better when it's in a story state. Like we learn a lot better from like watching a movie and seeing the character learn the lesson. Now we've learned the lesson rather than someone reading a book, like us reading a book that just tells us this is what you do in life and this is what you do, this is how you do it. Okay, so let me read your comment. So even men should watch feminine flow content. Um, yes, so it's a balance, right? And this is not just for women. I like to make a lot of content for women, but this can go for both. So the masculine, okay, so even if you're a man or a woman in business, you need to have both masculine energy, you need to have the feminine energy. Masculine means the structure. You need to have some type of routine. You need to have some type of structure in your day. Okay? Without that, if it's too feminine, it's just all flowing, you don't have any like, your word is not kept. Okay, like there's no structure to it, so you're just kind of showing up whenever. If I was like a very feminine business owner and there was no masculine, no structure to my business, I wouldn't be showing up on camera. I would just kind of like leave my YouTube channel for years and maybe come back, oh, and then be really consistent, then leave, then come back and be really consistent. Like it's just not structured. Okay, so there is structure that you need to have in your life, in your health routines, in your just overall in your life, but you have to also don't forget about the feminine flow. The feminine flow means that just like letting those ideas come, allowing stillness. And we're going to go into that in this video. A lot of this is going to be about how to incorporate more feminine flow into your life, because that's what creativity is. And that's where creativity comes from, the feminine. Okay. So watching more of that flowing, this is the yin energy. So watching more of that yin energy content or consuming more of that content instead of just all this structured content where it feels like so much pressure and it feels so yang, it feels so masculine. Okay. So just having a balance in this. And I struggled with this in the past. Okay. I read a lot of nonfiction books just back to back to back. And I would just be like, okay, I'm going to read 10 books. And there was a lot of stagnation because there was no flow. I wasn't allowing myself to come up with my own ideas. I was just kind of shoving what I should be doing on this paper and just kind of saying like, well, yeah, I have to do it this way. I have to do this many videos. I have to do it this way, or I have to get this much out of this month or whatever I'm going to do. So just having more of a flow and understanding that true art and true content, true help, true inspiration comes from the flow of energy and not from force. Okay. So, and just taking pauses. Okay. So, finding stillness every day, finding stillness throughout the day. I talked about this on my live yesterday on TikTok, but just making sure that you carve out some time during your day where there is stillness and you're not intaking information. You are not trying to be a certain way, you're not trying to do a task for productivity. Not every second of your day is filled up with tasks and structure, but you have some time for stillness and flow. Okay? Welcome to live. So, carving out this time, what does this look like? In my own personal life, I like to sit outside. I'm the type of person that you guys know I like to watch a show while I'm eating. It's like a multitasking type of thing, but that's not stillness. Okay? What stillness is and what the best version of digestion looks like is eating without distractions, okay? Without watching a show, without trying to being going on your phone, especially no scrolling, nothing like that. Taking a break, leaving your phone in the house, sitting outside, just observing the world, observing the sky, observing the weather, observing how the wind feels on your skin, how does the sun feel on your skin, what does the temperature feel like? How does the chair feel that you're sitting on? If you're sitting in the grass, even better, you're grounding. Finding stillness, taking notice of things that you didn't notice before. Maybe you didn't notice this plant that you had on your lawn. Maybe you didn't notice this tree at your local park. Maybe you didn't notice this bench or this waterfall or this path that you have near you. Just noticing things. So allowing for stillness in the day. Incorporating periods of stillness and quote unquote unproductive time to allow for your body to kind of reset. Okay? So finding that unproductive stillness. Not everything in your day has to be productive. Not you do not you're not your measure of worth and your measure of value in this world is not what you produce. Okay? You're not a machine. You're a human being and we are divine beings. We are not measured by what we produce. So, like I said, I have down here some notes. So I just wrote some things that I like to do, which is I said I eat my one at least one meal a day outside. Like if it's obviously if it's raining and I don't want to be outside, then I'll just kind of maybe sit near the window and just kind of observe outside, be um just aware of my surroundings. So you can do that. And a daily walk, getting outside, especially in the sunrise. This goes into like the whole circadian rhythm setting, which is amazing for your body, amazing for your sleep, amazing for energy levels and reducing stress. But just getting outside for a walk for in terms of creativity and getting unstuck, getting your energy in motion, going for a walk outside is amazing. So those are another thing I like to do. Okay. And then we have the whole concept of fasting. Fasting does not have to be just from food. You can be fasting from social media. You can be fasting from, let's say you are, I don't know, you drink alcohol or you smoke or there's something that you do that is a little bit of a negative behavior. Just fasting from that. Okay, maybe it's video games, whatever it may be, you're fasting from that and you're just going back to what really matters. You're just allowing the space. You're allowing the time, the empty space, the empty time to be filled up by your creativity and new ideas. Okay. So we can't come up with new ideas. We can't energy in motion and can't get unstuck when we're so overcrowded with unhealthy habits or just stuck in the same routine. If you want a new routine, you can't keep doing the same old routine. You have to kind of stop the old habits and then sit there and think, okay, well, what now? What am I going to do? So I know for sure for me, when I'm fasting, specifically from food and water, like if I'm doing a dry fast, I know the first thing I'm thinking is, wow, I have a lot of time. What do I do now? And I'm kind of just like looking around and thinking like it's just it frees up so much time and now you're just thinking like what do I do? So this is how you kind of ignite that creativity. All of a sudden your mind starts going. You start having all these ideas. You want to journal about all these things. You want to like research all these concepts. You want to learn all these things. You want to embark on all these ideas. You have so many creative like so much creative energy is just flowing. So this is something I really value and I hold dear to my heart is just fasting in general. It's a very sacred practice. It's in the Bible. It's been used for thousands of years, probably more. And this is something I highly recommend everyone just try. Definitely you don't have to go right into dry fasting, but just some type of fasting, even if it's not from food or water, but just fasting from social media, like not going on your phone for whatever, maybe the entire day, maybe for a few hours, half the day, maybe limiting your phone use to just 1 hour a day, maybe going into grayscale for a few days, maybe a week, where you're just not stimulated by your phone. You're just not taking in information from your phone. And now you're thinking, what else is there? Right? When I made my phone in grayscale mode and I'm looking at, so I'm just kind of scrolling, I'm like, this is not exciting. Like, what else is there? Okay, let's just turn off my phone. Let's go look outside. It looks way better outside than it does on my phone because it's black and white. I don't want, like, I don't find it interest, or I don't want to look at my phone. Okay. And this also has to do with clearing out the old to make room for the new. So if I want to revamp my style, if I want to revamp how I'm dressing, or just how I'm coming across to people, I'd have to kind of clear out the old clothes, the old items and articles of clothing that are keeping me stuck in the old identity of myself. So clearing out the old to make room for the new. It's like you have 30 hangers on the hook, and if they're all full, where are you going to put the new clothes? So getting rid of the old. You can take this concept and apply it to whatever you else may like whatever else you want to apply this to. Um, but let's say just for clothes, for example, you have to clear out the old to make room for the new. Okay. Um, this is the easiest way to spark that creativity and get that momentum going in terms of growth, inspiration, finding inspiration, sparking inspiration. It comes from just getting moving in terms of getting things going, getting things decluttered, throwing things out, kind of clearing things, like clearing out the old that is just not serving you, that's not adding to your life, that's not bringing you joy, and it could bring someone else more joy. So donating things, passing things along, selling things, just getting things out, moving, as well as the stillness aspect. So moving and stillness paired together, it's going to give you some magical formula where you just have all these new ideas. Creativity is going to be flowing. So I love those two. Okay. And alongside this clearing of the old is leaving space for the new. Leaving space for the new. So this goes hand in hand with the fasting. Okay. When we are fasting, we are taking something away. We're fasting from something, whether that be food and water, whether that be social media, whether that be from, maybe you're a big smoker, like whether that be from smoking, or whether that be from video games. I don't know why whatever is not coming to mind. Other things that you can fast from. Trying to think of more ideas, but those are the ones that are coming to mind. Um, if you're fasting from those things, or if you are clearing and decluttering things out, you are making space. You're making space for new things. Okay, so you have to leave room. You don't want to fill every second of the day with a task. You don't want to fill your mind with constant information. This is like the elimination diet of elimination of information. We're constantly inputting things in our brain. We're constantly putting inputs. We're digesting information. It's kind of like our eyes are like our mouths for information, and we're just taking so much stuff in. You want to leave space. Okay, so there's no room for new ideas to come into fruition and creativity to flow outwards if you're constantly putting ideas in. So this is where we can kind of take a break and allowing that space. Okay, so this goes hand in hand with a lot of the points I said here. So even the stillness every single day, and allowing space. So guys, you can take creativity from other people, like we mentioned at the beginning of this video, but it's very fleeting and it leads to eventual burnout. So there's a few things that I like to do, which I've mentioned in this video, alongside maybe like watching a very different movie that I haven't watched in a while. Maybe watching a movie that inspired me like a long time ago, and rewatching it, I gain a new perspective, or I saw things I didn't see. Finding inspiration could be from multiple different things. You can find inspiration and you can unlock creativity and feel unstuck from just leaving your hometown, just driving a couple hours away, and just maybe staying overnight in a hotel by yourself, and just allowing for that stillness, allowing for that space. Fasting from everything that in your life. If that means turning off your phone for an entire day, kind of shutting off from the world, going inward, journaling. Maybe it means updating your vision board or scrolling on, maybe going through a book, like a photography book, or what I was going to say, scrolling through like photography, or scrolling through inspiring things, where again, it's that feminine flow of content. Okay. So let me know what you guys think of this video, and what ideas, what factors do you guys use to spark creativity? I would love to know. And if you tried any of these, let me know as well. And tell me how these work for you. This is what I do, and this is what helps me, and this is what also what helps others. I've seen this help others. I am a health coach. I work with my clients. So if anyone's feeling stuck, these are kind of the methods that, or the direction that I guide them towards. And if you guys have any questions, I can answer any live, like this is also like a live Q&A type of, I will try feminine flow content. Seems interesting. Yeah, so again, it's like feminine flow content doesn't have to do with it's a woman talking. It just has to do with watching, maybe you really wanted to go to Costa Rica, watching a vlog of someone that lives in Costa Rica or someone that visited Costa Rica. You're getting that you're getting that inspiration, rather than like it doesn't, like, it's choosing the less productive thing. Our brains and our, like, this fast-paced world wants to push us towards what's going to give us the result the fastest, which is, if I search on ChatGPT, what it's like to live in Costa Rica, give me all the things I need to know as fast as possible in the less amount of words, summed up, quick, fast. That's masculine. Okay, that's masculine flow of content. The pressure, you're feeling that pressure, it feels very stagnant. Okay, the feminine flow is watching a vlog. Maybe it's like an hour-long video of someone's entire month they spent in Costa Rica, but it inspires you on a deeper level than a ChatGPT response. Okay, so it's not always about fast. It's about depth. I had a conversation with a few friends the other day about this, and how we're losing depth in our culture, in our society, because everything is about something that is achieved fast. It's all about results, money. It's very results driven. It's not about the depth and the quality. It's about quantity. How much toothbrushes can we produce in the fastest way? Not about what's the most quality toothbrush. What's the most quality toothpaste we can produce? Why are we gonna like strip all of that away just to produce quantity that's gonna end up producing problems in the future? Also telling ChatGPT that you could have done a better job. Like you could have done a better job than ChatGPT, is that what you mean? A lot of the times, like if I asked, I definitely I'm like I ask ChatGPT questions, of course. Like if I want to know what is the best restaurants in this area or whatever, like I'll ask, or what's the nutrient profile for this food, or what are the health benefits of this, I ask ChatGPT. But understanding your limits, okay, understanding the fine line between losing that creativity and losing that flow of energy, that inspiration from everything too structured and masculine. You have to go into the doing things just for the enjoyment, and doing the unproductive just for the pure sense of depth and quality. It's like buildings and architecture. We talked about this a few days ago. I mean, I talked about this a few days ago with a few friends. Buildings nowadays, they lack the architecture and the complexity, the depth, the beauty that the old architecture lacked. I mean, that the old architecture had. So that's why we appreciate the things that have so much depth. That's why we appreciate the beauty in quality and things that took time, even though there's like this feeling of like, what's the point? Why do they have to work this long on this building when it could have just taken way shorter amount of time to make it, to make this exact same building that still can hold the exact same amount of people? But it's about the depth, it's about the quality. It's about this feeling of like, it's not, doesn't have to be like this, but we could really make it this much better. We can put this, like, this quality into it, this depth into it. So just understanding that creativity is not about fast. It's not about getting the best output. It's not about getting like the biggest output or getting there the fastest. It's about the depth. Okay. So just kind of shifting that perspective, shifting your mindset. And if you do have these aspects of the rat race and this fast paced world in your life, balancing it with a slow paced, the slow living, slow living aspects, taking your, like, maybe having a very slow morning, maybe having a very slow workout, taking time to just actually enjoy life, enjoy your surroundings, enjoy what's around you. As I'm saying this, it's raining. So I will, whatever I'm gonna drink or eat next, I'm gonna kind of just sit and watch the rain, or maybe I'll read next to the window. Just enjoying what's around you and doing things just to do them and not to just be productive all the time. Okay. So just shifting your concept, shifting your mindset a little bit. Okay. So like I said, guys, let me know what other videos you guys want me to whatever videos or topics you guys want me to make, and I will make them. Just drop any comments, questions, whatever you have to say in the comments, and I'm very curious to know feedback and stuff for future videos. As I like going live on YouTube and TikTok, so I do both on those. I do both those platforms, and I just like to be myself. Okay, I don't force everything. I have my notes in front of me. I do. Although I don't like to put my laptop on my lap, but I do have notes. I prepare them, but I like to flow in my content. And there's things that I say in the lives or in my videos that I didn't even think I was going to say, or I didn't even think I was going to mention. And I kind of go off course because it's in the moment, and that's what feels right. So when something feels right and it feels like this is what I should be saying, and these ideas are coming to me and these ideas are flowing through me, then I go that direction. So just having that flow, but also having that structure in your life. If you find yourself on one end, whether it be super feminine and flow, or whether it be very structured and masculine, just trying to find how to balance that out, incorporating a little bit more of the other side. Okay. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video or live. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day.